Welcome to the Blueprint, a Spiral Within Q&A, where I'll be talking about my own blueprint, my own experience, my own spiral within, and talking about the course that I created, which is also called Blueprint, a Spiral Within, and answering questions that I received through comments, emails, and also any questions that I receive right here. Thank you for joining. I'm going to start with a few breaths and then I will share about this beautiful altar that I created for us. Okay, let's take a few breaths. How about 3 breaths? Deep breath in through the nose and out. Another breath in and out. Last one together, in and out. Again, thank you for joining. I created this altar so that I can express some of the vibes, the intentions, that energy that I used to create this course. As you can see, the flyer of the course is a live physical creation that I made. I started this past January and I've just been adding to it. So I'm very excited. I'm gonna turn on the candle to to strengthen this intention, to call in anybody who could benefit for this course, anybody that is interested, that has questions, anybody that wants to feel more empowered, anybody that wants to learn about their own power of creation and that desires to do their true passion and to feel supported through it. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to start by talking about my own blueprint, my own spiral within. Whew, where do I start? I did write some notes because if not, I feel like I just ramble because this story it's a spiral for real and it has so many different supports, so many different teachings, but I narrowed it down to one piece of paper, hopefully. Okay. So when I use the word blueprint, to me that represents a structure. And in that structure lies our identities and our belief systems. It's everything that upholds our being. That means our spirit, our body, our mind. I'm going to talk about some of the structures that I grew up with. Some of them I was born with, some of them were instilled through culture, through religion, different things. So part of my blueprint growing up was I was socialized as a girl slash woman. I'm Mexican. There was little mention or practice of my indigenous ancestry, and I was raised religious and Catholic. I am also first gen, raised as an oldest daughter, and socialized to be straight, cisgender, monogamous. I even got married to a man when I was 21. So this belief system encouraged me to get good grades, excel, hustle, go to college, get a degree. I did get a couple degrees. I got a bachelor's degree and then my master's in social work. Like I said, I did marry him and I did everything that I was told was supposed to ensure me with success and happiness. I did it all. I marked all the check marks, all the points. I became a therapist, and that was something that started from my passion of wanting to help people. That, of course, served its purpose. That taught me a lot. But I also realized that I no longer wanted to participate in these systems. And I realized that even like before I graduated, I realized that I think the end of my first year in graduate school. So that led me to create Mariposa Healing. I've had this creation. I don't like to call it a business because business to me is very like straightforward. A business is supposed to be a certain thing. To me, this is a creation, a co-creation, something that I created with the universe, with past, present, future versions of me, with angels, with nature, with everything. It's like my baby. And Mariposa Healing does sustain me and give back so much to me. So I started that in 2020. That was like the first attempt to create something myself. I've always had jobs. I started working since I was like 14 on and off. um, but this was my creation that I did from scratch, from my own dreams, from my own desires. And in the beginning, it was, and still is right now, a space to share some of my gifts, to share some of my knowledge, my offerings, to share support. And then it eventually did transition to become a financial support for myself. But more than anything, it's a creative outlet, a creative project, a passion project, and it is a big part of me. So, yes, not wanting to be in the systems that were at the same time oppressing me and burning me out and also oppressing the people that I was supporting led me to create Mariposa. That was in 2020. And yeah, after I graduated, I got my first job as a school based counselor for a high school and two middle schools. And again, although that was what I loved being with the kids. I loved being able to connect with them, to support them and their families. But the systems were so limiting, working at a nonprofit and the school systems, that I became severely burnt out. I mean, that was like la gota que derramó el vaso. That was like the straw that broke the camel's back, if I try to translate that, even though it's not a direct translation. Because I had already been working by that time in social service, social work field since I was 18. That was a while back ago. That was back in 2012. So I've been working in those systems for about 10 years. That wasn't like the start of it. I had already been there. And I was tired from everything, from going to school and then finally getting the chance to do what I thought was going to be the thing for me. And it burned me out. It got me so sick. I was so depressed. Trigger warning, I was suicidal. And I quit. That was the first time that I quit that type of job. And I quit with no savings. I quit with very little of a plan, but a very strong sense that I would be okay. And as I talk about my experience, I want to talk about the supports or the signs that showed up for me to be like, okay, do it. So I remember laying in my bed, again, very depressed, very sad, tired, crying, and just asking the universe for a sign. If I should do it, let me know. Let me know that I'm gonna be okay. And I was just asking, should I quit? Should I quit? Should I quit? And there's a tree in front of my bedroom door. It opened so I can see outside. And there were some crows that were nodding and they're going like, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's my sign. That's my time to quit. The crows are saying yes. And that might sound delusional, and maybe it was, maybe it is, but that's what helped me do the jump. I mean, there were many steps before, there were many like conversations, journaling, trying to figure this out, but that was like the one thing that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. And again, I didn't know how I was gonna sustain myself. I live in San Diego, which is one of the most expensive cities in the US. And I lived alone with my two doggies, so it's not like a roommate or a partner or my parents or somebody could help me pay rent and help me be sustained. Um, and I did it, and the supports, the ideas just started to flow in. Again, at the beginning, Mariposa wasn't making me that much money. I think I had my Patreon, and there were like two beautiful people who were in it. So it was like $10 a month or something. I had like clients here and there. I wasn't supporting people ongoingly. It was more like one-time sessions here and there. So it wasn't something to totally support me. But I had the idea to apply for unemployment. And even though I read that you usually don't get it if you quit yourself, like you're only supposed to get it when you get fired, something told me to apply, and I did, and I got it. And I was supported for like 6 months from it. That wasn't enough to like sustain me, but I had the idea to babysit part-time, which is something that I had been doing since I was young. I love working with children, and I knew it wasn't going to be as draining as being a school-based therapist. So that was like my way out. I was being sustained by the unemployment. I was being sustained by a little bit by mariposa. And I was being sustained by babysitting. And that was one of the most healing 6 months that I've had, because I had more free time compared to, like, again, working in the social services fields 9 to 5 for about 10 years before that. Um, so I got to know myself more. I got to know my desires more, what I wanted out of life, how I wanted to support people. And there were continuous supports throughout the way, just applying for scholarships for like different programs and getting them, randomly like finding money that I didn't know I had, making connections with people who connected me to clients, who connected me to opportunities to do group healings. All of those things I count as a form of support and abundance because they were. Back then, I remember like just like trying to figure it out. I remember even getting brand deals, which is not something that I do anymore, because I don't think they want somebody who has the identities and the beliefs that I have now, with everything happening like with Palestine and being so like upfront about it, that like it's like fuck colonialism like all the way. And it's always been like that, but I don't know. At that point, I think I had like 2,000 followers, and even then I was getting brand deals like just randomly. Like I never applied to one of them. They would like reach out to me, and that was like also sustaining me. So again, just feeling like somehow it had to work out for me, like feeling it so deep in my heart and trusting that it would, and seeing it come to fruition was such a mind-blowing experience, because I hadn't experienced anything like that. But I'm human, and the fear started to trickle in because I knew I was only going to have the unemployment for about 6 months. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I was like, maybe I could still be a therapist. Maybe there's like a better practice out there. Maybe there's a better way that I can do this and I won't get burnt out and I'll actually love it. And that felt resonant at the time. That felt like, okay, that's the next step. So I started looking for jobs, and I didn't want to go back to nonprofits. I didn't want to go back to schools. I started looking towards private practices. And I remember making a list. I remember making a list and being like, okay, if I'm gonna be a therapist again, there has to be some requirements for me to feel okay with this. And one of them was having a supervisor who was a person of color, Latina preferably, and coworkers that were people of color as well. I didn't want to work for and with white people and have a bunch of white clients anymore at all. um, and I asked for a nice office, a cute office that was close to nature so that I could go walk and have my breaks there, or potentially even see clients there. Something that was flexible, that I could work from home virtually, but I could also go to the office in person. Somewhere that was okay with me doing my spiritual and somatic supports, the movement, the drumming, connecting people to their ancestors, all of that type of stuff. And every single thing, the star fell from the list happened. I got a job at a practice that had an office in near Balboa Park, like 2 blocks from Balboa Park. If you're from San Diego, you know that Balboa Park is beautiful and there's a bunch of nature. So it was like the most beautiful thing. Um, all of my coworkers were people of color. My supervisor was a Latina woman. Like everything for the list. And it was very much you do your own thing, like go to the supervision hours, all that type of stuff, and you'll be good. And I was very happy. I was very excited to start, and I remember being very happy to support people and to connect with queer people, people of color, trans people, and support them in the ways that I felt were my calling. But here goes a spiral. I started to get burnt out again. I started to feel depressed again. I started to feel so tired, which was so confusing. Because in the months prior, I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I love this. Like, this is what I was looking for. This is what I wanted. And it was. I don't want to discredit that it was. It was a wish, a dream, a manifestation come true. But it met its course because it wasn't the space in which I was meant to share my gifts, because that space was still nonetheless controlled by oppressive systems that at my soul, my heart is so much against. So even then, again, here comes everything. I started to feel like very distracted in the sessions, very burnt out, depressed again. And remembering, like, I just did this about a year ago. I just quit and I figured out how can I be okay this time again. But again, like, a part of me was like, no, you went to school for this. Again, that blueprint, that old structure that I was operating from, telling me that I went to school for this thing that's supposed to guarantee my success, that is supposed to guarantee my happiness, my livelihood, my safety, and going against that was a lot for the nervous system. Not gonna lie. Nonetheless, I quit again. I quit again, and I was blessed that a lot of the people that were working with me, a lot of my clients followed me, even though I told them, like, hey, I'm not going to be a therapist anymore. I don't even know what to call myself yet. I don't know. I don't want to call myself a coach. I just don't like that term for myself. There's no issue if other people use it, but I don't like it for myself. Um, and I feel like the closest transition from being a therapist to like whatever else I was right after was peer counselor. But even now, I don't call myself that. I have like 1,000 titles, but not that. And they trusted me to continue. And I was also focusing on my Patreon, so that grew a lot. And I was able to do it. I was able to sustain myself, and I was so happy, and I am so happy now that I get to support people in the ways that feel resonant for me. And again, just being in a position where I just needed a sign, I needed something to tell me, yes, you should quit. And I got it. I got another sign. First the crows, and now, again, I remember being in bed, but this time it was nighttime. And I was like, like, I need to know that I'm gonna be okay. Please tell me I'll be okay. And something told me to go outside. I think it was a full moon. And that's why I was like, maybe that full moon's gonna give me like a message. Maybe it will help me release. And it did. But then the most beautiful spider web was connected from one end of the tree of the neighbors and the tree that's in my backyard, and it was connected right in the middle, the center of the spider web and the spider. And it looked like it was floating, and it looked like a portal. And I was like, that's it. That's my portal. That's my portal to possibility. I'm doing it. So again, another support, another sign. Again, call me Delulu, but I run on signs. I run on synchronicities. That's the way I feel the universe speaking to me, telling me like, you're good. You're gonna be fine. And I am, and I was, and I am up until this day. I've been supported, and like I said, like when you do something that goes against the structure, the blueprints, the belief systems that you were told is supposed to guarantee you with safety, success, happiness, joy. It's a lot on the body, on the mind, on the heart. It's like, oh, are we gonna be okay? Are we gonna perish? Like, we don't have like a guideline for this. So I've been recreating my blueprint. I've been forging new structures, building new structures, rearranging other ones. So starting from a blueprint that was, I feel like, filled with limiting beliefs from religion, from being a person affected by colonialism and whose ancestors were affected by colonialism, a lot of limiting beliefs. And even the ones that were supportive, they were very specific. I feel like it was supportive for education to be instilled in me. I'm not going to deny that. Like, it was, and I did learn a lot. But it was very specific. There wasn't much room for expansion, for questioning things, for doing something a little different. To now having a completely different belief system in my being. And again, for the purpose of the sake of talking about blueprint, I'm focusing on my livelihood, career, whatever word you want to use, what I do to exchange energy with others to be sustained and to support others. But this blueprint has been similar even through going from somebody who was married to getting divorced and trusting that I would be fine getting divorced. Somebody who was very closeted for safety to somebody being openly queer, openly non-binary, openly trans, openly loving my beautiful partner, Policy, and being so happy, openly polyamorous. So many things that through religion, there was like a lot of fear, shame, guilt instilled in me. And now, again, rebuilding. Some structures had to be completely broken off, but rebuilding new ones based on this belief system that is now filled with trust towards myself, towards the universe, towards my community, towards my ancestors, love, empowerment, knowing that I have the power to co-create my desired reality with the universe. That is all part of my blueprint now. So I have shared, right, some of like the spirals inward. To me, all those spirals have been inward, even if some of them were like very depressive, very like questionable. But they were just bringing me more towards myself, showing me sometimes through like, this is not what you want, so get out of there. Or this is not how you want it. You want to help people, but this isn't the space. This isn't the system. This isn't it. This isn't the way that you're meant to do it. This is the way. Yeah. Let me pause and see what's next in my paper. My little paper of notes. Yes. So my blueprints. Yeah, and now becoming and embodying what I am now. I'm going to list my titles, my roles, my forms of expression of my soul, of my being. I am a death worker. I am a medium of spirits. I am a channeler of messages of spirits. I am an Akashic practitioner. I am a somatic practitioner. I am an artist. I am a dancer. I am a creator of altars, a creator of portals, a poet, so many things. I am queer. I am non-binary. I am actively reconnecting to my indigenous roots, to my indigenous tribe, even learning their language, which I'm so grateful for, which I am part of Yoema tribe. I am polyamorous. I am, again, somebody who believes in themselves, somebody who's not ashamed to be themselves, somebody who's not guilty for enjoying life and experiencing pleasure in life, and somebody who believes that I can trust myself and that I deserve to be abundant and that I want to share that with my community and that my voice, what I have to say, is very important and is important for me to share it. That is my current blueprint, my current structures, my current identities. Oh, the star just keeps falling. I'm gonna put it down. Okay, so that is my blueprint story, my spiral within, summarized real quick. And now I'm going to talk about the blueprint as spiral within course. And then I'll answer some specific questions that people asked, and I'll open it up for questions here as well. So I created Blueprint Aspire Within with the hopes, with the intention to support other people to do this as well. Let me see your question. Your journey is so inspiring. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, so it's my intention to help others go through that journey, that spiral towards themselves, to take a look at their blueprint, see what's there. Some things maybe can stay, some things are limitations and they need to be changed for something else. And I feel that because I was a therapist, I have caught the attention of people who are currently therapists or who are currently in a job that is not what they desire to do. That is very welcome, but it can be anybody who's going through a journey of, yeah, figuring out their desires, figuring out who they truly want to be and what they truly want to experience in life. Because again, I am a desk worker. That's why I have the hourglass to represent that life is beautiful, life is precious, but it's going to end. It is going to end, and I bring that energy into this course. We're all gonna die, and I want us all to be the most us version of ourselves and to experience our desires vibe that I bring into the function, that I bring into the course. But yes, that is the intention for Blueprint. It is a 7-week course that is starting July 14th. And it is a mix of self-paced modules on my website, which will include journal prompts, like tutorial videos. Like there's gonna be a beautiful tutorial video to create an altar like this, an altar for your intention. Different activities to create art. So yeah, it includes 5 modules with self-paced components and also 5 live sessions. The live sessions, most of them will happen on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. There will be from an hour to an hour and a half, depending on participation and engagement. And the live sessions will be a space for y'all to share about your experience, to ask me questions, and we will also engage in life practices. And some of the practices included are Akashic journeys, somatic practices, dancing, celebration, altar creation. ¿Qué más? Let me look at my little notes so I don't miss anything. Yeah, meditations. So there's like somatic components. So again, the nervous system can get a little bit scared when we do something different. It doesn't mean we have to stop ourselves from doing it, but it's beautiful and needed to give ourselves some support. So lots of somatic practices and also spiritual components, spiritual practices, because like I said, like look at all the different signs that I have followed, the different ways that my ancestors, that the universe has spoken to me. So I want to teach y'all to be open to those supports as well. And now that I'm talking about it, the final sign the latest sign, not the final, was when I launched Blueprint, which was about, I think, like 3 weeks ago now, when I shared it like in all like the socials, I shared it everywhere. There was that SpaceX thing that flies every so often. Y'all maybe have seen it. I don't know if it's everywhere, but that like the I don't know how else to say it, but what it tracked, what it left behind, was a spiral. So that was also like, there's another sign that I need to share this, that I should do this. So yeah. Just wanted to make sure I shared that one because that one's also very powerful and very cute, and very sweet. Okay. Yes. So live classes, self-paced modules. We will also have a Discord chat to connect with each other, share questions, realizations, and celebrations. Wait. Sorry, I'm back. So we will also have a Discord chat, like I was saying, to connect with each other, to share questions, share realizations, and celebrations. So I feel like it's very important to have other people that you can talk about these things. And of course, you'll have me, but I wanted to make it a group so that hopefully people can have other people that they connect to, whether it's just through the Discord or whether you make your own connection outside of the course, but so that you can be like, oh my God, this is happening for me, or I am feeling a little scared, and sharing that, just having like more of a live support space. There's also like other love creations. As you can tell, I love creating things and putting energy and intention into it. There's also like playlists that I created. I'll also be sharing here on social media because I want everybody who can, even if you don't join the course, to tap into that vibe of Blueprint. ¿Qué más? I'm gonna go through what the modules include, and then I'll go through the questions, I promise. Thank you for being here and listening so far. Okay, so for module 1, we're going to be exploring our intention and expressing our desires. The live class will include introductions and an Akashic journey. For module 2, we will explore our current blueprint, which includes our identities and beliefs. And we will learn to tend to any tension and to face limitations that arise. We will have as a practice somatic and spiritual supports. For module 3, we will start to create our new blueprint and opening up to receiving support from the universe, from ancestors, from community. Because then in module 4, we're going to be learning about abundance and manifestation and creating our desired reality. So we've got to be open to receive if we're going to be experiencing some of that abundance, some of those manifestations come true. And I know manifestation and abundance are words that maybe you're hearing me say it right now and you're like, it's not my fault that why spiritualists, coaches, whoever, white people have taken those terms and made it like it's this super annoying, entitled thing. I am very much aware, I hope that you know this, and I'm very much aware of the oppressive systems, the privilege differences, the positionality differences that we all have based on our identities, based on our upbringings, based on our cultures. I'm very much aware of that. But even then, I know that it's not just white people who can be abundant. It's not just white cis people. Like, that makes no sense for me. Why not us too? Like, it makes no sense to me. So I am going to do my best to share these learnings, these teachings with you that I have learned through lived experience on how to do this. And we don't have to like live completely in the Lululand and be like, oh, nothing can affect me, nothing can touch me. I'm no longer affected by colonization and colorism and racism and homophobia. Like, I wish it could be that simple, but even then, there's ways to feel supported even through those challenges. That's what I'm trying to portray as I share about abundance and manifestation. Because, like I said, like, why them? Why not us? What the heck? Us too. Okay, yeah. And then I wanted to remind y'all, I will put this in the caption, but there is a $50 off coupon code that will be active until July 4th at midnight. I'm gonna say it, but I'll write it, don't worry. But it's Pajarito777. It's all capital letters. It's Pagarito777. And you can use it when you book. There's 3 different payment plans, 3 tiers, in which you can have payment plans of 3 months. And the payment plans are 300, 250, and 200. If you were to use the coupon code right now, it would be as low as 150 for all the course. And the scholarships are also open until July 6th at 11:45 p.m. Everything's in Pacific time because I'm in Pacific time. So please apply to a scholarship if needed. Use the code if needed. Use the payment plans if needed. Again, I want to make this as accessible as possible for people. I just want the homies, I just want the community members to be able to be sustained from what they love and not feel burnt out and depressed. That's what I want. Okay. And now, time for questions. If anybody here has questions, please type it. I think, yeah, there's a question button towards the bottom that you can press on, and I feel like that will make it clear that it's a question. I'm kind of far, so I have to be like, but I will answer your questions if you have them. But I'll start with the ones that I got through comments and emails and such. Okay? Okay. Question number 1. I'm curious about the course. Is it emotional, like journaling prompts? That's how it was written. I'm going to answer it as best as I can. Yes, there will be journaling prompts, and I foresee it being emotional. This was a very emotional process for me. I foresee it being as emotional as you allow it to be, or as it's needed for you. Maybe for you, it's gonna be like so much fun, so chill. And for other people, it's gonna be like, this is like so much. But either way, you'll be supported, I promise. But yeah, there's gonna be journal prompts that will help us express our desires and dream big. Not just like, oh, like, okay, I don't wanna say that any desires are small, but I want us to dream even beyond the current reality, because that's the point. If we're going to create a new reality, it has to be something that's beyond it. Even if right now you're like, I don't see my life being anything else than working a 9 to 5, like that's just it. Capitalism is a thing, so that's just it for me. No, like, you can create something beyond it. And capitalism, yeah, it's still a thing that exists, but even then you can do things to express, expand beyond it. So yes, we will explore our desires, any limitations that could stop us or that could be a challenge from us making those desires a reality. Um, yeah, exploring our current blueprint and what we want our new one to be. So yes, there will be multiple journaling prompts, and it can be emotional, to answer your question. And then the person asks, what is the blueprint? Again, the blueprint is what I consider the structures that make up our being, which include belief and identities. The structure of our being, and they can be something that we were born with, something that was instilled in us, and they can be changed, they can be moved, they can be restructured. We can do that ourselves now that we're adults and we have sense of choice and agency and willpower. Okay, next question. How do you go about creating structure for such an unstructured... Oh, let me try again. How do you go about creating structure for such an unstructured process inwards? Let me feel the question and answer the question. I feel like the structure that I created is more like a container. And the structures that you're going to create can be as cemented, as supported, as sturdy as you want to make them. And they can also be changed. Even if you make it like super sturdy, super like It feels like I'm gonna believe this forever. It feels like I want this identity forever. It feels like I want this role forever. You can always change it. So I feel like through the course, there's room for that expansion, there's room for that transformation, there's a lot of room for movement because, yeah, this isn't like a 3-step process. I try to make it into a 5-module space process, but everybody's different. The things that have helped me, the things that have supported me, the things that I have learned, the things that I have channeled as well, because this course was also channeled, is what I am molding, filling that container with. But it will be very different for you. And that is the whole point, because we're different people and because we have different desires. So I make structure for a very unstructured process by reminding us that it can always be changed. What we decide to pursue during this course can always change. And you will also have access to the course at least for 1 year. So you could like do one desire and then do that and then do another one and then do a different one, or if it changes, do a different one. So there's room for change. There's room for movement. There's room for fluidity through the course container. I hope that answers the question. Okay, next question. How do you let go of fear and trust instead? Okay. For my human brain, for just like Azul's very human physical brain, I did need proof. I did need to see other people who have done something similar, even if it wasn't in the same field, even if it wasn't somebody that I knew personally. It could have been somebody online, it could have been somebody that I read a book from, something. There had to be what I call, and which I will also talk about in the course when we talk about receiving support, what I called permission slips. Permission slips that I borrowed from other people. It's not that other people gave me permission to quit or to do what I wanted to do. It's that I saw them doing it. And by them embodying their true selves and being abundant and being sustained and sharing their gifts, that was like a mirror of permission for myself. And that helped me trust. Like, there's other people doing it. I've had so many examples of people getting degrees. Maybe not so many in my family, but like a lot of friends have degrees. A lot of friends have certain types of jobs, and some are very happy in them, and that's great. So I had a lot of examples of that, of academia, of nonprofits, but I didn't have that many examples of people doing their own thing, creating their own reality, facing some of these limitations, tending to those emotions. So I needed that as a start to be able to trust that somebody else did it so I could do it myself too. And then again, all opening up to receiving signs, synchronicities, support from the universe, from my ancestors, and allowing that to guide me and opening up to different forms of abundance so that I could feel supported. And again, I go through this thoroughly in the course, but abundance isn't just money. Abundance is somebody telling you that they love you when you're having a very difficult day, and that just shifts your mood, and that just makes you want to continue living, and that just makes you want to keep going. It could be somebody offering a meal, and you maybe that day were feeling like, damn, I don't know what I'm gonna eat, like I don't even have energy to cook, and then boom, somebody is offering to make you something and deliver it. It could be finding $5 in the street. It could be somebody gifting you something that you have been wanting for like the longest time. There's so many different forms of abundance, and I feel like I finally opened up to like all of them, all the forms of abundance that could be supportive and aligned to me, and that also made me trust the universe, trust myself. So again, to sum it up, seeing some of that permission modeled by other people made me trust that it could even be possible in the first place. And then all the signs, all the synchronicities, all the supports from my ancestors, from community, from myself made me just trust myself and in the universe that I would be okay and move through some of those fears. Also, the somatic practices, um, being in nature, also helped me move through those fears. Yes. Okay. Last question. And again, if y'all have any more questions here, use the little question box at the bottom and ask a question or share a comment or anything you want. Thank you for being here, by the way. I know this is kind of long. I'm going almost on an hour, and I've just been yapping. I usually don't do anything where I just yap. I usually like guide meditations and other people share, or I play my drums. So this has been like, oh my god, I'm talking so much. Which is fine. I'm just noticing it. Okay, last question. What has supported you through this journey? Again, all the signs, synchronicities, the ancestors, spirit guides, um, the people who have modeled creating something, sustaining themselves, community members, friends, my partner, my family, all the support I could get from everywhere and everyone. And also, I have taken some courses myself that helped me kind of like take those leaps of faith and have some container to land in. And I hope that that's what Blueprint is for you. But to name some of them, I took a 1-year Akashic mentorship with Leah Garza from Crystals of Altamira, and that just like I came out of that class like that's when I quit the second time. That's when I quit my therapy job the second time. I changed my name to Azul. I feel like I don't know, got queerer and like more non-binary and a bunch of magical things. I became a death worker. So that class was very magical. And then I also like to learn from P the Fairy. I think they go by Realizations by P now. I feel like they just like expand my brain in such a way that I'm like, whoa. So I have also learned a lot from them. ¿Qué más? I remember I said that I was getting scholarships and I also counted that as a form of support and abundance. I got a scholarship with Yumi Sakugawa, and it was a course to open up to possibilities, and it was catered to artists. So I think that was like a month or during the month that I was quitting, so that guided me to like quit and have somewhere to land in. That was very supported. I also like to listen an extraterrestrial. Here I go with the weird stuff. But his name is Bashar. He's channeled by Daryl Anka, and he's all about manifestation and possibility. So he has like a bunch of YouTube videos, so I listen to him a lot when I want to like continue to forge the structure in my blueprint. Continue to like add more supports to it, because I'm human. Sometimes I'm still like, what if everything like goes to shit? What if like I fail? What if nobody wants to be part of my offerings? Like, I still go through that, and I still have all of these supports that I've been talking about that constantly support me. And it is my hope that Blueprint and Spiral Within can be that support for you. I believe that is all. Again, if anybody has any questions, let me know. I am going to post this as a podcast episode and as a YouTube video, and probably here on the gram too. We'll see. But just to sum it up again, Blueprint is starting July 14th. You still have time to use the early bird coupon code. Again, I'll put it in the caption, which is $50 off until July 4th. And you still have time to apply for a scholarship. You have until July 6th in the night to apply. Okay, I believe that is all. I don't see any questions. But thank you for the ones that commented and asked questions earlier and the ones who have been here. Okay, I appreciate y'all and I hope to see you in Blueprint or to connect with y'all in another way. Thank you. Good night.